Hey guys, Chris the Ultimate Recycler here in the storeroom at the shop, and if you look up there, that's where we're starting today. We've emptied another spot on the concrete. We're going to start right up the top. I don't know if they're empty boxes. I kind of hope they are because we'll get a long way pretty quickly. I know it's not very exciting, but I want to clean this room up. But I've just poked them and they're not light. So there's something up there. Let's get a ladder to be safe and see what we can find. Now, I don't think I mentioned this is episode 26 of the Great Shop Cleanup, and we're cleaning up because we have to. We're going to kind of retire, I guess, when the property sells. We don't have a choice, but we're kind of excited about the future, and I'm excited about going through all this stuff. That is not light. Oh, come on, shoulders, you can do it. Okay, what's in here? Stamps. Did I have a stamp collection? Where did this come from? I don't know. Let's get it down. And the next one, oh, they might be just packaging. We'll take this through to the counter, and before I move the ladder, we'll have a look what's in the next one. What do they say about middle-aged men and ladders? Don't tell anyone. Okay, we can do it. We're coordinated. What's in here? Oh, just some electrical fittings. We're going to have a lot of those, probably in that one as well, but everything has to be processed. Okay, is this just empty boxes? No, it's something else. Light fittings, perhaps? I think there might be new old stock. All right, that might be pretty cool. We'll have a look at that too. Let's put this somewhere else. And this next one is more electrical fittings, paperwork. Oh, some interesting stuff. All right, we better get all these through to the bench and see what we can salvage, what we can sell, make some decisions. Steady. Now, these stamps. I did collect stamps when I was younger, but not seriously. Mum and Dad had a stamp collection, but I don't know where that ended up. Maybe that's in here. I don't know. There's a lot just torn off envelopes. A lot of early Australian ones by the looks of it. Some pre-decimal. Quite a lot pre-decimal. So just torn off envelopes as people did in the day. There's a Christmas cards box. I'm guessing that's full of stamps. Oh, it's just got a letter here. That's got a Mexican stamp on it. But it's not addressed to my parents, so I don't know. Oh, hang on, that's a separate box. More stamps, just torn off envelopes. It's a very old collection, as in they're mostly old stamps, but also I think it was collected back when these stamps were current. All just stashed in old envelopes. What are these ones? These don't look like normal postage stamps. The Maya Emporium, they might be tax stamps, registration stamps for something, I'm not sure. Someone collected anything by the looks of it. So there's a lot of older stuff here. It's really difficult to value stamps. Very specialised area, and 99.9% of them aren't worth very much at all. Okay. No, this came from a house we did. I think I recognise the surname. Stamp Collecting Made Easy. That's an old stamp book. And a lot of them probably will be... Oh, a lot of these are Australian, but I'm thinking a lot might be overseas stamps. Well, there's a 1959, like a first day cover. It doesn't actually have a stamp on it. There could be some rarer stuff in here. Here we go. Here's... Now, I think this is Austria, and the family did come out from Austria in the early days from this particular house lot we did. Oh, there's even some British European Airways flight brochure, maps. What are these cards? Are they, I think these are translating cards. You can look up a word and see what it says in... It translates English to German or back the other way. How's that? Back before you could type something into your phone or even get your phone to listen. You had to look up individual words and work out what they were. That's cool. So some of the stuff in here is going to have some value. What's in that? Souvenir from Israel. Just a little box. I don't know what the souvenir was, but that's just the box. Right, what do we got in the bottom here? Looks like someone kept a lot of stuff from when they were travelling. Regent Palace Hotel, London. Oh, look at that. Very 50s colouring and styling. That's an awesome brochure. I love the colours they used in the 50s. Look, early retro. Wouldn't you love to go into a place that looked like that now? It would just have so much character, so much appeal. Everything's a little sterile these days, I think. So that would have to be a 50s era brochure from London, the Regent Palace Hotel. That might have some value. I don't know if it's worth eBaying or not. A map of Tel Aviv. There could be a lot of this stuff around. A map of Jerusalem. So this is obviously someone's travelling souvenirs, shopping in Israel. Perhaps I could do a group lot of Israel tourism paraphernalia. Drive yourself in Israel. That is cool. 1958. The cars look very 50s. So tourism sites to see. Rates for cars. You could get a Chevrolet for $12 a day plus kilometres. Interesting. They had kilometres in Israel in the 1950s. Another one. So I could certainly do a bulk lot of Israel tourism stuff. That might go well on eBay. Israel Airlines. Oh, tickets and everything. 1958, 59. So that is interesting stuff. National. Is that a brochure for something? National had like stereos. Oh, here we go. Product brochure. National products. TVs, radios, valves and components, household appliances. That is awesome. So this really falls under the category of ephemera. Very interesting. People do collect it. It's paper products that were never made to be kept. And, you know, that's 50s, well, 70 odd years old. Warranty and service booklet for Nissan, Datsun passenger cars. Well, people do collect automotive owners' manuals and things. So that may be eBay worthy. So there's actually not many stamps in this top box at all. So they're just loose stamps. That was really interesting. Now we have stamp albums. So this must be all from the same place. Globe stamp album. A lot of European stuff here. Oh, some China ones. Canada. Austria. As I said, I think that's where the family came from. Lots of Austrian stamps. How do we value these? I don't know enough about stamps, and I don't have the time to sit down. Oh, even Australia. But early Australian ones. I don't have time to try and research them. You could spend hours going down rabbit holes of trying to identify stamps, searching online, and the eventual result usually is you find something close and you think you've got a valuable one, and it turns out that yours was the common variety and there was some really minor little difference to make the rare one worth a lot and yours isn't. That's normally the way it goes. Norway. So this album itself must be fairly early. I'm thinking maybe 1940s or 50s, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, there's no decimal stamps in the Australian section, and that changed in 66. Another one here. Oh, this one was a folder, but it doesn't have the rings anymore, so it's now loose leaf, literally, and again full of stamps. Italian, Greek by the looks of it, Germany, France, Finland, Canada, and a whole heap of, oh, look at those. I think that's an assortment that you bought. You could buy stamp packs to bulk out your collection. We have Orange River Colony, Papua, Panama, Palestine, Poland. All right, what am I going to do with this? I don't know enough about them to have any idea what it's worth. I could just throw the whole box in the shop for $100. If it doesn't sell, drop it to 50. There might be one stamp worth thousands and the rest might be worth lighting your fire with them. There's lots of early Australian ones. I think they've all been soaked off envelopes, mostly. Here's more from, where are these from? Austria again, I think. Some of them look to be unused. Yeah, they're mostly Austrian. What's in this box? Oh, absolutely stacks torn off envelopes. Look at that. And these appear to be mostly Australian. So when the family came out to Australia, I believe in the just pre-Second World War, the family came out, because when we cleaned out the house, there was lots of early Art Deco furniture that had been brought out from Europe. And I think we were told they came out just before the war. So a lot of the earlier stamps would be back to that era, and when they obviously still collected stamps when they were in Australia. There's lots of postcards here, or envelopes, just with individual stamps on them. Some addressed to businesses. There are a lot of English stamps in here. Collector's pack, 1981 collector's pack, unused. What do they call them? Mint unhinged. Sounds like some people I know. Unhinged. Early Australian stuff. Bags full of stamps just torn off envelopes. Bags and bags of them. And then that's right, they had mission mixtures where you'd just get a big assortment of world stamps that you had to soak off. Did anyone do that as a kid? I can remember every time we did that and soaked all the stamps off. I remember we used to have trays of water at the farm soaking the stamps, and always a few days after we'd done all that, we had a cold. You'd catch, it must have been something, you know, because people licked the backs of stamps then, and it always seemed that we got a cold. So could that have been how the common cold, or maybe something worse, was transmitted around the world via stamps? Doesn't seem very hygienic to lick the back of a stamp, does it? But that's what you did. Okay, so just mountains of stamps. What's in this one? Oops. Just lots more postcards and envelopes with stamps on them. Now we have an Australian stamp catalogue. So that's just like a valuation. That would probably be, I don't know, back in the 90s, was it? Should give a date. Can't see one. And we have some larger stamp albums, and these have the little plastic slips where you put stamps in, and it looks like this is empty. Yep, no stamps in here at all. And this was a better way to keep stamps rather than put sticking hinges to the back of them. However, they always used to fall out of these because these plastic things stretched. So that's unused. Here we have a collection of 1982 Australian stamps in a folder. And oh yeah, they're all in here with information about them. So they're all unused. I don't know if that's going to have any value. These things were sold as collectibles and investments, and people that bought a lot of stamps, certainly in the 70s and 80s as investment. They used to buy blocks of news stamps and first day covers, and they ended up not being worth anything. You had to reuse them just as postage. So that's a similar collection of 1981. And here we have a collection of 1989, all mint and unused and unhinged. Okay, well, I'm at a loss of what value to put on this. Maybe I should send it all off to a specialist stamp dealer and just trust that they'll offer me a fair amount. Maybe they're not worth much at all. I might check some of these complete sets on eBay. But all these bags and bags of torn off envelope ones I don't think are going to have much value at all. Okay, let's whip through a couple of these boxes of electrical stuff we got too, because I think I talked too long about stamps. We do have some information here on something. I don't think that's much good, and I don't know what it was. Just circuit diagrams from something. This came out of the shed, which the guy was an electrician, and some of this is just bits and pieces I cleaned off the bench that probably don't have any value at all. Old receipts, instructions for doing something. They're all pretty tatty. So I think most of this can go in the recycle bin. Don't think there's anything of historical interest, only dates back to 1990s. So we shall put all this in the recycle bin. Oh, this is better. Guide for the Handyman, 1950s book, McPherson's. We might get $5 for that. Black & Decker Care and Use Handbook, that's a pretty old one. So I don't like to throw this sort of stuff out. Hasn't got much value, but people who collect tools like the old books to go with them. That's more recent. So all the little notes and general books. What's that, a parts list for something? Doesn't look overly old. Photocopied diagrams. Crompton lamps, that's a nice old catalogue. All different light fittings, well that might have some value. Installing your rain gauge, pressure switch instructions, but Ongapunk's receipt. So yeah, a lot of this just going to the recycle bin, which is cool. That's easy, don't have to worry too much, and it keeps it out of the landfill. Should be recycled. Here we go, metric drill sizes. Don't think that's quite interesting enough. Oh, there's another one. And instructions for, oh, we had half of that before. Pop rivet gun instructions. More paperwork. Onga pump instructions. Okay, let's deal with all that. Right, we have some boxes here. Probably some new old stock stuff again. Remember we had some Bakelite switches and things a while back. That could be new. I'd say they're new. These certainly are. They're still in the plastic. So 50s, maybe 60s era Bakelite power outlets, power points. I'll go $10 each for the newer ones, maybe $5 each for the ones that I can't be sure. That's a bit later, probably into the 70s. And what do we have in these? Oh, yeah, these are second-hand for sure. And I might bulk these up. I don't know that too many people are going to use second-hand PowerPoints, especially aged ones like this. Not sure if that's a new one or not. Maybe it is. Push button. I still might just bulk all these second-hand ones up and put $5 a lot. Easy way to move them on. We need to empty this box. There's definitely a second-hand one, but nice old PowerPoint. Now these look new old stock in their original packets, and I take it they're just the plates, the flush plates they call them, for switches maybe. Let's get one that's already open. This one. Oh no, they're actually the power outlet flush plate, and the switch mechanisms you had separate. And it looks like you even had a little template for marking out perhaps the wall. So, not sure, they might eBay, don't know. There's obviously some second-hand ones in here. There's a brown Bakelite one. But I think all these others are in packets. The packets are pretty tatty. But yeah, I don't think we're going to get a lot for those. And here's a few more. There's a nice brown speckled Bakelite one. Look, the right person would... No, that's just more of a second-hand type one. It may not be second-hand, but I don't think they're old enough to be of value. The right person would pay pretty good money for the ones that match their house. These were 17 cents each. So these are plates again for what? Maybe that was just an outlet with no switch. So they're new old stock. Perhaps I'll do a bulk lot for eBay. Still got the original box for that one. And this one is just bits and pieces, mostly second-hand. Look, they look like TV antenna sockets. Don't think there's much value there either. This is heavier. What's in this one? Oh, they're mounting rings for, I'm not sure what. Say on the box. I think it says mounting ring, but I don't know, maybe for lights. They'd be Bakelite. They're made in Australia. I might have to do a Google image search on those. This box doesn't have much in it. Pilot indicator, the box says. Oh, and that's what they are. So, I guess, I don't think these are actually lights. I think they're just the lens. Little red glow lens for when a light's on. Pilot light may indicate, for miniature flash plates, may indicate when a piece of equipment's on. Not sure on that one. What's in this one? Ceiling roses. Oh, we have one and some second-hand bits. I'm going to bulk a lot of this up, maybe even a box. I could nearly put the whole lot in a box for like $20 just to move it on. I don't really want to fill up the shop with all this sort of stuff. Anything I think will do better, like maybe those earlier PowerPoints, might be worth eBaying. This is a... Oh, these are switches. I guess they're new. And some all-way rocker mechanisms, which are switches again, and these suit some of those PowerPoint flush plates that don't have any fittings behind them. So they might sell okay. There's a full box of them, a dozen. HPM, all-way rocker mechanisms, so they could eBay all right. Last one here is a single pole switch. Oh, that's probably an outside one, is it? Heavy duty at least. 30 amps. Oh yeah, it does work off and on. So more of industrial switch. And again, that may well eBay. It's Australian made. It's Bakelite, original box. All right, I'll have to sort out what I'm going to do with this and I'll let you know at the end of the video. Let's look in the next box quickly. Okay, and this last box was very light. I thought it might have just been packing materials, but I think they're new old stock light fittings. Kempthorne was a well-known Australian lamp or light maker. Made lots of nice retro style lights, perhaps into the 70s or 80s. Oh, here we go, there's a picture of it. And this reminds me of the old caravan lights. So it is new old stock in box. Oh, let's get it out. So your classic sort of dome light, and it's still got original stickers on it. So it is glass, not plastic. So it doesn't appear to have a light fitting in it. The actual globe, oh yes it does, I can see it through the hole. So it just needs wiring up. So these are going to have some value. I don't think they've got a lot of collectible value because it doesn't look overly retro, but it's nice that it's vintage and it's new old stock, original box, Australian made. So that's that one. I take it this one's the same. No, this is a different type. What is this? Oh yeah, it's a light as well, and it's made by Chemthorne. And it's like a... Okay, this is a little bit more retro. Does that... I think that just rested up there like that. So that's a little bit more space age maybe. Not. I think it's. I'm pretty sure it's new old stock. I think the box should show that same item. Does it have a label on it? Yes, there it is. It's an eyeball spot. Okay, satin gold. Well, this one wasn't satin gold. This one was white. So maybe they were swapped. But that's kind of what it is. And there's one more in the bottom here, and this looks like another new old stock one, or this is just the glass. Okay, just a replacement glass. Probably hard push to sell that, but you never know. There might be actually the light fitting that needs this glass in another box, so maybe we shouldn't be too hasty to get rid of those, but I will check them out online. See what I think they're worth, and we'll add them to the price list. All right, that's all we had as far as boxes go, but we did have that square ice cream container, and there was another one up the top. I'll grab two. Okay, this is the one I had a peek in, and it is just random fittings. So, oops, one's on the floor. So we have some very sort of vintage Bakelite double adapters, and another one. I don't know that I can sell, I'm not sure if I can sell them. I've seen them on eBay, and people sometimes ask high prices, but yeah, I don't know. There's some just random plates. There's lots of knobs and things in here off things. Yeah, I don't know what all these knobs are off. Some of them look like TVs or radio. That's a radio knob. Well, that's worth keeping. Perhaps I'll just keep all the knobs separately. That looks like a TV one. Don't know what that one's off. And these old classic knobs you used to see on vintage test equipment. So I think they're worth keeping, or at least putting in a jar. Someone might love those, but I'm going to keep the radio ones because I have some radios at home to restore. And even some vintage test equipment. That reminds me of a really old car headlight switch or something like that. All right, we'll keep all the knobs separately. A square one, that's pretty cool. All right, as for these other bits, again, I might just bulk them up and have random Bakelite fittings, or maybe put them in a box and have $1 each or something. I have to check out these, whether it's worth trying to sell them on eBay, double adapters, maybe a collection of them, all different sorts. They're Australian made. That one's Clipsal, and that one's Elmaco, or Elmaco, something like that. So they're kind of classic. They're almost collectible. Not much value in that stuff. And the other box has, oh, it looks like there's some switches in here. I don't mind getting switches. Let's tip this one out. Okay, again, a real mixture. But these Bakelite switches, oh, that one's a bit loose. Some might need a little bit of work. And there's just some extra collars which I use. So they tend to sell very well. I get $5 each for those switches. So it's good, happy to find those. They just need a bit of a clean up. There's quite a lot of them. And they all have a different noise. And that's a flush mounted switch. That one doesn't work properly. It's got an issue inside. A flush plate for a whole gang of switches, which just screw on the back. There's an architrave switch, some more modern switches. Another one of those with the large thing. Now, whether they are for, I don't have any here. Yeah, I think they were for maybe a socket, I'm not sure. Here's a decent size Federal 500 volt 45 amp switch. So that might have a bit of value. There's a push button on and off like you would start a piece of machinery. Not sure what those switches are called, and I think the rest of the switch is missing. But yeah, we've got a bit of value in this box. Quite a lot of switches and parts. Does that fit that one? That sounds all right. But no, that's the wrong collar. They're often different sizes. Anyway, I'll have to sort these out. I will be bulking some up, but any switches that clean up and work well, I'll get $5 each for. Oh, I've got a bit of sorting out to do. Okay, I've processed all the stamps and the tourist stuff that was in the first box, and I've got some values and everything, and I've made a really good discovery as far as valuing stamps, and I'll talk about that at the end of this video. But I've got a notepad here just for this box. We'll do this in 2 sections. I've priced out everything. In fact, I've even written some tags for things. I put $10 on that translator card set. The catalogue and the empty store album, I put $5 the pair. I've sorted all the loose ones into 3 lots, and I'm just going to ask $10 per lot in the shop, just as like collector packs. That one's got quite a lot of old Australian ones in. There's some UK ones. I also put the first day covers in the bottom here. So $10 per lot. Could be anything in these. I honestly did not search them. It's not worth my time. There could be a rare stamp. I really don't know. But $10 per lot there. Now these ones, the new packs I could research pretty easily on eBay. I've put $10 on the British ones. These are all brand new, never been out of their packs. $20 on the 1981 collection of Australian stamps, $25 on the 1982, and $25 on the 1989 one. The actual albums themselves, I went through, and I'll talk about this later as I said, but I've been through every page, and I know there's no rare stamps, although there are some reasonably good ones, but there's a lot of early stuff, a lot of European stuff, and some very interesting old stamps, quite historical, some of them. Some of them are very, quite limited due to wartime, Second World War. And I've valued these albums. Both of them are fairly full. This one hasn't got the rings on it, but it also has a pack at the front as well. I valued these at $30 each. Now, based on individual stamp prices, that's an absolute bargain, but to sell them individually would take the rest of my life, and I don't have that much spare time. So $30 each on those. That sums up the stamps, I think, pretty well. I put $5 the pair on these vintage Christmas card boxes. They're pretty cool. This one's called Edith. And the tourism stuff. Well, the 2 British ones, I've gone $10 each. This one is all the maps, 1950s era flight maps. $10 each on these ones. Compton's catalogue, the National Product Manual, the Car Service booklet. I went $5 on this Black & Decker booklet and $5 on the McPherson's Guide to the Handyman. I've had quite a few of these. They're not rare, but they're really interesting books. And the tourist information stuff, I've gone $5 on that box. I think it had fold-out black and white photos, but the box is just empty. It's pretty cool. We might get $5 for it. $5 on that one's a government tourism brochure, and that one. $5 on the maps, and I went $10 on this one. $10 on the shopping booklet, which is great. It's quite a thick booklet. All 1950s era. And $10 on the flight or the airlines folder with, there's no tickets actually, but it's got a lot of the bits and pieces that you used to get when you went flying back in the 50s. So if they don't sell at 10 each, I'll throw them on eBay. I could even do better. This sort of stuff's easy to post, so I won't be worried if it doesn't sell while we have the shop. It's something I could eBay later on. I just went $5 on the pair of those. So that all adds up to $300 even. So there we go. That wasn't bad out of one box. But yes, the nightmare with valuing stamp albums, I think I've got a solution. Thank you, AI. I'll talk about that later. Now with the Kempthorne lights, I have kept my prices reasonable because I don't think they're special enough to bring much money. That one is pretty cool. That's the eyeball spot. I didn't have it clipped together properly when I showed you earlier. It actually pivots in that frame. But it's not the satin gold one, which I think would bring better money. But I'm just going to go $10 each. This one, new old stock, $10, just $5 for the glass. I think they're super cheap for what they are, but they are fairly plain examples of retro lighting. So hopefully they don't sit in the shop too long. So 25 for those three. Now, while I'm reasonably happy with the concrete values on stamps and the lights, we enter the murky waters of valuing this stuff. Rather difficult on some of it, and I'm not actually going to have all of it up for sale. Let me explain. We'll start across the front. I have got prices for the Bakelite switches. I've cleaned them all up. They all work really nice, including some of these unusual dished ones. But I've given them all a good clean up and a bit of a lube. They all click nicely. There's 15 of them there. $5 each, $75. These ones are more 60s era, but they are new in their packets. They're still sealed. They have the hardware in there as well. Just going to go $5 each on those. There's a couple of varieties that's got a switch and a power point. This one's actually got a push button switch, which is pretty cool, including a little red indicator. So that's cool. So I'll go $5 each on those. This is a new old stock heavy duty, what was it, a 30 amp Bakelite switch. We'll go $20 on that with the original box. These two are nice, still in their plastic. Bakelite, bit older, probably 1950s, $10 each. The box of TV antenna connectors will just go $5 a lot. These items I'm going to value at $5 each. The double adapters, a couple of switches there, and this, I think it's a light outlet fitting, all Bakelite. That's probably new. The others I think are used. $5 each. These ones are Bakelite power points of various configurations, but I think they've all been used. We'll go $5 each on those. I've written all these down, so I'll show you the notepad shortly. The heavy duty Federal switch, it's a 45 amp one. That has been used. I think I'll put 10 on that. These pilot lights, they actually have got neon globes in them. I didn't think they did when I first showed you, but they've got a couple of terminals on the back. You can wire them up. They will glow red when they have power to them. They're designed to fit a certain flush plate that I'm not sure if I've got here or not. I did show AI this, and AI suggested they were $10 to $15 each, making about $90 the box because there's 9 of them. I'm just going to go 20 the box lot on those. I think that's more realistic. These odds and ends I'll just put in the shop at $1 each, or maybe $2. I haven't decided. I didn't write anything down for those. Now, the stuff I'm keeping for now, the switch parts, well, I'm always making up switches. Some of them have got cracked covers and some covers are different threads, so we'll hang on to those. These ones also, I might match them up with certain plates to make reasonably good second-hand power points or outlets or something. We'll work that out down the track, but I'll hang on to them for now. This box of new old stock switches, a completely full box. I thought they'll probably go with some plates, so I might actually make up some complete power points. I haven't really decided, but I didn't want to value them as they are at the moment. But if you are interested in this box lot, we can work something out, but I'll put them in storage for now unless someone puts their hand up and says, hey, I'll give you $30 for them. I don't know. We'll work something out if you want them. Same with all these plates that we saw earlier. I think if I match these up with the parts that bolt to them, these are power outlet ones, perhaps I can sell them complete. Maybe someone out there wants them as they are. Again, we'll work out a price if you're interested. Same with these switches. Some of these plates, I haven't actually found anything that goes up to them. I think it's a socket. I don't know what to do with these. I might put $5 a lot on those. I didn't write them down though. And these are just some used power points that I don't see much value in. I'll do a bulk lot once I've finished sorting out. I know I've got more boxes of electrical stuff, so I might be able to mix and match as we go through more of them. There might be something that goes with something here. But what I've written down on a notepad, all at the front here, adds up to, where did I put my notepad? Here it is, adds up to $250. So again, pretty good potential return. But if you're interested in anything that you've seen here, have a good look at the notepad. Shoot me a question if you actually are a little bit confused about what I want for something. Just mention the timestamp on the video and we'll work it out. And some of the stuff that I haven't priced, well, I'm open to negotiating if you're really interested in any of it. When I finally get through all the rest of the electrical stuff, I will certainly be just bulking up all this and selling it. Some of it might go very well on eBay, but for now, this is what I'm going to price at the front. Okay, well, this video turned out to be a bit of a marathon. Apologies for that. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're still awake. I really enjoyed doing those stamps, and that brings me to the valuation of stamps. I've always the times I've valued stamp albums, I've just taken a guess. I've just thought, 20 bucks or 50 bucks. Just depends on how impressive they seem to me. I have no idea how rare stamps are. And as I've mentioned a few times, to spend the time researching individual items would take you way more time than what, even if you found valuable ones, would be really worth. And most of them are going to be low value or next to nothing. So the secret is showing AI. Now, you know I like to use AI a little bit for my research. It's proving quite handy. And what I said to AI was, I've got this old stamp collection. Can I take a photo of each page and show you, and you tell me if there's anything rare or valuable? And AI says to me, this is just Google AI, just says to me, sure, let's go, it's a deal. So, okay, and I took a photo of the first page, and instantly it came back with, it's a nice selection of vintage Australian stamps about mid-century, and told me a bit of the history about them all. I didn't want to know any of that. It said they're all common, made in their minions, and valued at 50 cents to $1 each. What's the next page? And it just kept going like that. I just kept showing pages. I hope I didn't use too much of the world's resources in power and water. I know AI apparently does, but it was such a handy reference for me. There was one page, I think I've got a photo of it, I'll show you now, of Japanese stamps that AI got a bit excited about and said, there's some quite rare ones on here. It's a really interesting selection. And it valued some of those stamps individually at $20 or $30. But I'm not going to pull any out of the album. They have been stuck in with hinges, and I'm not going to start selling loose stamps on eBay. So in the end, after showing AI all of the stamps, and I was quite confident there was nothing worth many thousands, and got some really interesting history on them if you could be bothered reading it, I actually valued the albums, as you saw, at $30 each, which is a very realistic and saleable price for them. But I know that I haven't given away the value of another house to someone for 30 bucks. And if I sold them all individually, yes, I could make a lot more money, but then I've got to allow for my time. So maybe someone else might like to do that. So the only thing AI did confuse sometimes is the albums have a black and white picture of a stamp at the top of each corner, sort of indicative of what stamps that particular country had. Sometimes AI got confused and thought that was an actual stamp that I had on the page. So you have to be a bit careful what you get back. But I found it a great way to value them. So quite interesting. So I think that's what I'm going to do for any stamp collections in the future. At least it can identify if there's any super rare ones there. The Bakelite electrical fittings, there's so many of those. I'm just going to look, we've got more to go through here. I'll swap things around a bit. I think next episode we might start down the bottom where I've got some car manuals just to mix things up. But I am keen to get rid of all this electrical stuff, and by unboxing it all I can mix and match and work out how to sell it. So I hope you don't get sick of that. But there is some pretty cool old vintage electrical stuff amongst it. So we'll finish this one up now. It's been a long video. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next episode. See you then. Bye for now.